Sorry. Good morning. Hi. Sorry, I made it. I know I am 2 whole minutes late, and there was a reason for that. Of course, it was this. And the coffee machine just has a mind of its own and takes as long as it wants. Good morning. How are you today? How did you wake up feeling today? I'm starting to ask my own questions. But why? Because this is one question a day. Hi, I am Jane. This is the PB&J Influence channel. I am coming to you live from Dallas, Texas. And I do this every Monday through Friday if I can get my act together. It's not a for sure, but most of the time I will do this Monday through Friday at 8:18 Central Standard Time, Texas time. And I don't know, what else is there to tell you? It's flippin' freezing here. Oh, Jacob Karras, hi. Thank you so much, Jacob. So good to see you. Likewise, my man, you are doing some amazing things. Jacob, who just popped on here, is just an amazing entrepreneur, online marketer, and he's out of Australia. I want to say, I sometimes get that mixed up with New Zealand, but I'm sure he's pretty sure it's Australia. And gosh, he's just, well, I know you just did that really super cool mastermind of yours, and I'm super proud of you for that because that is a big thing, Jacob. Way to go. Check him out on YouTube. I think it's just Jacob Karras, right? C-A-R-I-S, Karras. He can teach you a lot. And he's very, very knowledgeable, for sure. Oh, good morning, Mr. Mercer. How are you, Colonel Sir? Good to see you here. Always, Jacob, always happy to give you fine words. I love it when new people, well, Jacob's not new. I mean, I know Jacob, but it's awesome when people pop on that I haven't seen. So like what I was saying is, if you've got the opportunity, just pop on here and say hi in the chat box. It makes it just a little bit more fun than whatever the heck we're doing here, right? So listen, we're winding up the end of the year. It is December. I don't know what day it is, you guys. It's December 10th. Oh my gosh, December 10th. Has this year completely just flown by or what? And, you know, I used to think when I was young, as I got older, time was going faster. And I thought it was just because we're older that time goes faster. But now, as I'm asking people who are younger, if they feel like time has sped up, everybody agrees. Everyone thinks like the planet must be spinning faster or something because time's not even real, you realize. But as we perceive it, it is definitely just flying by. There you go. That's something to think about. You're actually the master of time. You can create your own time. So they say. I haven't learned how to do it yet. I haven't mastered it yet. But I would much rather be the master of time than time be the master of me. I can tell you that. That's a stupid little constraint to live within, right? Okay, so I'm going to read this question from this cotton picking book right here. And why? Because we're just going to take 5 or 10 minutes today to drop here from here, just if we can, if this question will even afford us the luxury of dropping into our heart space just to see how we feel about something, just to get away from the logic and the sense and the think tank thing and just drop into the feelings that this human vessel lets us have if we choose. And that's a huge point right there, if we choose. So December 10th, the question is, I don't know the question. I don't rehearse the answers. I don't care. December, how would you describe the state of the world? Oh my gosh. This book is so all over the math. This book asks 90% of the time the most shallow, stupid questions I've ever come across. And then every once in a blue moon, it throws out something so deep, we don't possibly have time to address that today. How would I describe the state of the world? If you all are out there and you have comments, I would love to hear from you because I think this is a huge hot topic. The state of the world, and how many of us are really in touch with the state of the world, the whole world? That's like a really huge question. I would say, in one word, the state of the world is evolving. And that's the truth. The planet is always evolving. I mean, if you look over history, it's always changed over time, and it might be the same storyline, but rewritten and presented and played out in a different way each time, over time, as that story comes up. And we as human beings handle it differently as time goes on and new generations come about, and we learn from the old ways of handling something and how would it be better. Hopefully we're thinking, how would it be better? Sometimes we're not even thinking better. It's just that the ways of the past are forcing us, grinding us into something different, powering us into something different, a different way of being that sometimes we're not even ready for, that we don't even want to do because we're so stuck in the ways the way things have been in the ages gone by. And it's almost painful to crack out of that and move into something different. And that's where I think that term old school comes from, right? When, oh, that's so old school. But we are so stuck in our old school stuff. The state of the world is a mixed bag, both good and not so good. Yes, thank you. That is absolutely true. It's definitely good and not so good. And there's huge pockets of not so good. And then there's, of course, you get into the whole thing about collective consciousness. Have you even heard that term before? Collective consciousness, the collective consciousness, like the overall general agreed upon thoughts of the way that the world is or that life is. That's all over the entire planet. That is the collective consciousness. And there is, whether you know it or not, a huge agreement, all of us on the planet. There's a huge amount of us who agree all the time and think the same way. I mean, that's even like how trends come about, even across the globe. When you look at like fashion, something as stupid as fashion or makeup trends or hairstyles, I mean, cars, when you look at the way that cars evolve and are shaped and modeled over the years, over the globe, there is a general consensus, and everybody kind of picks up on each other's energetic thought patterns, not necessarily without talking to each other. Now you can't, obviously you can get ideas so easily from across the globe, which is amazing. All in all, that is really amazing. But so there's now collective consciousness is even tighter than it was before because we're so connected by the internet, right? Like here, Jacob Karras is here from Australia, just like that. We're talking, and it's like midnight his time, and here we are, on this thing together. That's crazy. That's awesome. Which just lets you know the state of the world could be so easily influenced just through the internet alone. If everyone really, really got on the healthy, evolving bandwagon, we could really, really change the state of the world just by our thoughts alone and just by conveying those thoughts to each other online. I just thought of that. That's pretty cool. There are very few people, though, in the world who are really huge warriors and fighters for overall big planetary things. And I know myself, I used to have some really big thoughts like, yes, let's change the world. One person can do it and one person can. But in the meantime, I feel like my life was such a critical mess that it was, I can't. I've just got to focus on my own life, try to get my own little world figured out. And somebody else that's got their poop in a group can go take care of the worldly stuff. And I'll just agree if it's good. Crazy, I know. Well, nobody else seems to have any thoughts about, well, I'm sure you have thoughts, but you're just not chiming in about your thoughts about the state of the world. I wonder how many people really think the world totally sucks. And I wonder if that's dependent upon, what if you're sitting in, some back alley right now and flipping 8-degree weather, and it's damp and cold, and you're sitting by a trash dumpster, and that's your life. Are you going to think the state of the world is really good? Because the state of your world isn't. And it's all, I think, might really be dependent on what's going on right in here in our state, in our human state. That is why it is so important that you manage the state of your world. We are just a little microcosm of the macrocosm. This is so heady and heavy today, right? But if each human being could get a grip on their own personal world and somehow find a way to find the beauty within and have this amazing little world that they live in, they would automatically think that the state of the world is good. And then we would all join together in that huge collective consciousness and create a beautiful world. It sounds way too simple. It really isn't simple at all, because so many of us are in very difficult situations. I realize that. I myself am extremely blessed at this point in my life. However, with that being said, I have been in some really shitty, I said a bad word, shitty situations that, guess what? I thought just accidentally happened to me. But now looking back at my life, I see exactly how I created everything. Everything. It gets really heavy. I don't know who wants to think about all of this today. That's more than I really want to deal with. Some days I just want to be stupid, ignorant, in bliss, right? Just la la la, living on the surface. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess we have our moments of flowing in and flowing out of really serious, intense stuff. And then other times where we just got to step back and enjoy as best we can. With that being said, have a look at my videos over here. I think I'm going to put them over here. I never quite get this right. And bing, bing, bing. Yeah, okay. That's it. You guys have a fantastic day. Thank you so much, everybody, for showing up that was here. I love you all. Go out and have a beautiful day. Have beautiful thoughts. Make a beautiful world. Bye for now.